What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, my people? What is going on? All right, I need y'all to wake up a little bit and we got to ask this question, people. I mean, we just got to ask this question. We got to ask this question. Do you have a dysfunctional family? Man, y'all hear the storm kicked in. Hope y'all don't hear this thunder coming down, but if you do, hey, that's Mother Nature. But back to the question. Do you have a dysfunctional family? Or do you have dysfunctional family members? Now, when I first started going through this, I didn't really pay much attention to the details of this question. And I just thought about, just a few people, the ones that's loud, they're always yelling loud, they always making a scene, the one that laughs with their mouth wide open where you can see everything in the back, you know, everything's so funny, they gotta fall on the ground, roll on the ground, all that shit, So I'm thinking of that. But really, it goes a little deeper than that. It's just we have a lot of issues out here that people don't seem to want to discuss. Let's put it that way. They just don't want to discuss it, and we got to talk about it. But we're gonna talk about it in different ways. So I got a few clips that gonna explain it in some ways, and you let me know in the chat. And also let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. Hit a one in the chat if you can hear me okay, or two if you cannot. And state what platform you on, because we're on YouTube, TikTok, X, and Facebook tonight. So I'm testing out all of them tonight on one, streaming all from right here. So let me know if you hear me okay. You hit a one in the chat. If you cannot, or well, I guess you can't hear me. You won't be able to do it up there. But put a one in the chat if you can hear me. All right, we just do it that way. Now, again, think about who that dysfunctional person is in your family. And it goes a little deep, like I said, because sometimes I was thinking of them, that little group, because you got some family members, like one part of your family, got a certain last name, they act a certain way, you know. But then I started looking at within the family, you have people that, how can we say, they're like a lot of people have a problem with their mothers, which is crazy. And so not so much they said father, but a lot of women had a problem with mothers. I put it that way, 'cause a lot of guys didn't say everything about the fathers, but the mothers, they seem to have a lot of issues with their mothers and saying dysfunctional and all this other crap. So it was kind of wild to me, you know, that they actually felt that way. But you know how it is. But I want y'all to see this clip real quick of this guy and his wife were discussing, some dysfunctional things and that you don't really think about. So let me pop this in here real quick. Y'all give me a second. And
family, the women, we don't let no man run us. That's why all your aunties single. That's why all the aunties in your family single. That's why the divorce rate in your family is so high.
Yeah.
Because you idolize the fact that we women in this family, we don't let men run us. The reason that some of us can't destroy our dysfunctions is because we idolize them and allow them to identify us.
You ever thought about that? We idolize it. Now I've seen that. I'm be honest, I have seen that where people are proud of it. They proud that their people are loud. They're proud that their people show out, you know, go to the basketball games. They all over the floor yelling at the kids and doing all this stuff. You go to the football game, they cursing out people across the field, even though they can't hear them. But it's always that certain group that does that stuff, and they come there and be proud of it. And so I never thought of like a dysfunction, but then again, yeah, that is a problem, man. It is a problem when it's the same people. You kind of get tired of it, you know. But let's let them rock, man. Let's let them rock a little bit more.
Wow.
And so, baby, whenever I say we idolize them, you know how we as a people do. Girl, you know my family, we just loud.
We loud,
We
yeah.
just loud. You know, that's just who we are. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
No, that's a dysfunction.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a dysfunction.
Or girl, you know we like to fight. You
Girl,
know
we
my
throw
family.
them hands, right? We throw them hands.
Yeah.
No. You are idolizing dysfunction.
Absolutely.
And when
We've
you
heard it.
idolize dysfunction,
Yeah.
it makes it hard to destroy it.
That's so good.
Well, that's true too.
Because the idolizing it gives it life. The idolizing it promotes it and pushes it over into the next generation.
Man, that is so good, baby.
Not
That's
only
so
do
good.
we idolize it, we allow it to identify us.
That's good.
We take on the dysfunction as identity. And we say, no, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
Right? Love me just how I don't try to change me.
Man.
Because this is just who I am.
Wow. Now, how many of y'all have heard that? I've heard that so many times where someone always say, like, I ain't changing for nobody. If they don't like me for who I am, then that's it. Or this one thing I used to hear, I couldn't stand for people to say this. I don't bite my tongue for no one. It's like, damn, what that's supposed to mean? I don't bite my tongue for no one. Like, oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. You know, if you feel that way, then that's cool. You know, you do it that way. You don't bite your tongue for nobody. You have no filter, as we say, but you will get looked at a little differently, you know, if you try to continue to be that way. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm just saying we have a lot of dysfunction within our families, our culture, all type of things, and we don't even think about it, man. We just go along with it because we have always done this. So we don't say nothing. We don't go along with it. I mean, we go along with it, and after generation, we keep seeing it now over and over and over. Like, dang, man, when this gonna come to an end? Now you got the little baby out here doing this mess, you know? But then you got that family. I remember coming up, we used to go to these little parties all the time. At little club parties. You know, we still in high school, junior high, high school. But it was like two families would always show up and they want to fight. And every time they walk in there, we know the party about to get shut down. Every time we're like, damn, here they come again. They pick a fight with somebody and now the club gets shut down. But it was two families. Like I said, I can remember exactly who they are right now that guarantee if one of these family members came in, well, they never came alone. So they always came with their little group. They'll come in, and they were always older than us, which I don't know why they hung around because we was like junior high. These guys had to be like seniors or out of school. Why are you coming and hanging out at our spots? I have no idea. But they would always come there and want to fight these young dudes and all this other stuff. And the party get turned out, police call, blase, then we going back to that whole thing. But they did this for a long time, man, a long time. Guys, if y'all coming in, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button and definitely hit that subscribe button. And because that helps the video get pushed out and it helps support the channel. And I appreciate it. So with all that, what family members can you think about? What family members can you think about that will fall in this category? Because there's a lot more to it. It's a lot more to it, man. I didn't even realize at the time. Because this a husband and wife that were just talking. And I mean, they were just dropping it the way it is, man. I'm just gonna be lying. They just giving it to you like it is. And a lot of people just can't deal with that. And I don't understand why they have a problem with it. Well, I'm trying to do something over here. But I don't understand why they have such a problem with doing certain things. Hey, locked and loaded. What's going on? What's going on? Man, you know what? You should have come in on this one. You should have came in on this one, lock and loaded. You really should have. If I'd known you was out there, I would have sent the link to you. I don't have your email address. But if you can reach Lucky, ask Lucky to send you the email address, and I'll bring you in here if you got the capabilities. Cool? All right, so we're going to move to the next clip, all right? So again, in the chat, let me know, guys. Okay, I got you. So let me know, guys, who is the most dysfunctional person in your family? And this the thing. This person, are they so dysfunctional that it affects when you guys have like special occasions? You know, you got that person that show up at the holidays that always got to get kicked out. You know, we used to have that back in the day. Like, with certain people that show up, you're like, damn, we know they're gonna come in and act a fool. You know what I mean? So that'd be the first thing they do. They come in, show their butt, and now we got to put them back out. Or somebody gonna rough them up real quick. You know, and everybody, don't do it. He fragile. He gonna get hurt. They're like, yeah, he's gonna get hurt. All right, you know, he about to get dropped real quick. But it's always the same relatives that show up to do this stuff, man. And so again, guys, if y'all hear this rumbling going on, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but a storm just kicked in right before I came on. So yeah, I got you locked and loaded. I got to get your information. Just give it to Lucky, like your email and number, and I'll get you next time. Matter of fact, I'm doing another live tomorrow at 8. So if you good on that, then, but I'll send you the information. Just get it to Lucky to get to me, and we'll get you in here. I'm talking to Lock and Loaded, guys. If y'all didn't see it, she was on a live with me last week. She did a pretty good job. So try to bring her back in the panel to see what she's talking about. Gotcha. All right. So let's get to the next one, man. This next little thing. Like I said, it's not going to be a long one tonight. I'm just running through some stuff. And just want y'all to hear this, man, because I didn't think about it like that.
Stop being okay with other people's dysfunction. Just because they're okay with roaches don't mean you have to be. Just because they're okay with foolishness doesn't mean you have to be. Just because they're okay with low-level living does not mean you have to be okay.
Now, just that part right there, I'm going to run this back again because I like what he said there. Did y'all hear the things he said? Now, just think back how much or how far or whatever family members you know been dealing with these type of things. And it's normal behavior when you go into someone's home and you just see roaches. Or you go in there and it looks like someone is, what they call them, when they have all the clothes in their house and trash in the house and all this stuff. I forgot the word they call it. But you walk in the house and you see this. You know, they never clean up. You will see these type of things and in their mind has become normal. But it's really a dysfunction that no one brings out to and they'll bring it to attention to be fixed. And I think a lot of people need some psychological help when it comes to stuff like that. You know, hoarders. There it is. Lucky. What's up, Lucky, man? What's up? But yeah, hoarders. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's a lot of you hoarders out here. A lot of you. I didn't know it until I actually spoke with someone. And it's a lot of females. Y'all are hoarders. I don't know what's going on with that. The guys clean up more than you do. Or am I wrong about that? I don't think so. Because a lot of you ladies out there, y'all have a nasty house, man. I don't know where you come from with that. Because when we were growing up, man, it was 2 boys and a girl. And I swear my mom made us clean all the damn time. Because me and my brother would fight all the time. So we had to get outside. But, we all had something we had to do on Saturday. You get up, clean her house, vacuum, dust, do all that crazy stuff. It so I don't know where it stopped, because even my sister, she knew how to do stuff like that, but I don't know where it stopped, where the young girls stopped doing this. I don't understand. I don't understand. But when I was recruiting, we had a little program. We was getting people ready for basic training, and I asked a group of girls after training, we had to clean up. That's one of the biggest thing in the military. Everybody know we clean up. I mean, we do the yeah, lock and load. That is a form of depression. You are right. And we have to clean up all the time. So that's the biggest thing that gets you sick in the military. So they're gonna make sure you clean. That's why everybody see like military are clean. Yes, because all it takes is one sick person and you get everybody sick. But I asked some guys, I had like 4 or 5 guys to go in the men's bathroom, clean it up, showers, everything. And then I asked like 4 or 5 young girls to go in the bathroom and do the same. So about 30, 40 minutes, I go check to make sure. Guys, got it clean. No problem. Boom. I go into the girls, ask the girls, y'all finished? Yeah, we're done. I go in there, toilets haven't been done, paper still on the floor. And they said they was finished. They wiped down the sinks. But I said, no, you're not finished. Y'all need to get all this up. So I walked out, came back in about 10 minutes later. It was the same thing. And I said, do y'all not understand what I'm asking you? And when one of the girls, now it was mixed color girls, so it wasn't like it was just one black girl. It was, matter of fact, it was all mixed, black, white, and I think one girl was, I don't know if she was Hispanic or Indian or something. So, but the little black girl said, show me exactly what you need me to do, then I can do it. And I said, your mother's never showed y'all how to clean a bathroom? All 5 of these girls said no. I said, y'all got to be kidding. She's like, no, nobody ever showed us. But if you show me how to do it, we'll do it. So I showed them what they need to do. When 15 minutes later, boom, they had the place cleaned up. But it just shocked me that they did not know how to clean a bathroom. I mean, really didn't know how to clean it. So that's why I can see where this coming from, all this stuff with the hoarders and all this and that. I mean, it is ridiculous, man. Let's see. Lucky got women are the biggest consumers. They just buy stuff. Yeah, we back on the hoarder. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see, got something else in there. Most men are minimalists. We don't need much. And that's the truth on that. It really is. So I don't think we would go like in a household with the hoarding and all that type of dysfunction, because we don't need a lot. I mean, a guy can have a 1-bedroom apartment and he'll be fine. Or a very small house and that house will be clean and he'll be fine. But a young lady, man, something's going wrong out here. Y'all got to check these young girls. Something is not popping off right. All right, guys. And Lucky Life Lessons, guys, that's one of my homeboys. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. I'm going to have their information in the description. They used to be on the panel with me. Lucky probably out in this rain working. But more power to you, brother. All right, so I'm going to run this back one more time with him because he's going to say some more stuff. But I just want y'all to hear that first part, man, because it was kind of, it was hitting hard.
Stop being okay with other people's dysfunction. Just because they're okay with roaches don't mean you have to be. Just because they're okay with foolishness doesn't mean you have to be. Just because they're okay with low-level living does not mean you have to be okay. Isn't it crazy that some of the deepest wounds we have come from the people closest to us?
Okay, so I hit this guy. But that's what I was saying earlier, that when I first start, thinking about doing the video, I was looking at dysfunction as the people in the family that's always loud and, always wanting to fight and do all these other things. I wasn't even thinking about like the people that's hoarding, the roaches, the unclean, all these other things. I wasn't even thinking about that. People that don't work, refuse to work, it affects the whole family when you're doing these things. So people don't think about this stuff. And so that's why I was doing this video. I said, man, I ain't think about this, but yeah, this true too. This is, this is something we got to look at within the families, because there's a lot of it going around. Too much, matter of fact. So let's jump on this guy real quick. Let's see what he's talking about.
With other people's dysfunction. Stop being okay with other people's dysfunction. If you're dysfunctional, off. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm not here to support you. I'm not here to guide you. Fuck off and live in your own dysfunction.
That probably would be me. That would probably be me. Yeah, I ain't fooling with you too much with your mess. If you want to live like, do dirty butt, that's I just won't show up at your place. I ain't gonna eat your food. I ain't gonna hang out with you. I'm just serious. I go do that over there. I'm pretty sure somebody will want to tend to you, but that would probably be me. Yeah, I would probably say some shit like that. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't that I'm not empathetic, but these days I haven't been too empathetic about a lot of people's stuff because it's stuff that you can control and you choose not to control a lot of it. Now, I'm not talking about the ones that had the real mental issue, but a lot of this other stuff, you can get some help or people that tried to help you and you refuse to help. And everybody got all this insurance out here, but nobody's going to see anyone for your mental issues or your mental health. But you'll be online talking about it, talking about your healing and all these other things. I'm in my healing stages and all this. And not one time you've mentioned that you go see a therapist. Not one time. So how are you in your healing and you're not going to see someone professional? It's like getting a stab wound in your stomach and you say, well, I'm going to heal it myself. I'm going to take about 6 weeks, 6 weeks to 2 months to heal my belly, this deep cut in my stomach. I'm going to do that. You think that's going to work? That's why we have all these professionals out. Even professionals go see professionals. Y'all know that, right? So you can't heal yourself. You have to get someone to help you heal. So all this self-healing, I don't even know where y'all come with that at. How are you going to self-heal yourself when you're having some emotional and mental issues going on? Hell, if you can do that, then you shouldn't have those issues going on. I mean, I'm just being honest. What's that, lock and load? They think you're crazy. They probably do. They probably do. Now, you saying you might be crazy, lock and loaded? Now, I got to mess with you. But you think you might be crazy? Because I know sometimes I probably was back in the day a little crazy. I ain't going to lie. So even in the military, you got to be a little crazy. Go do some of the things they want you to do. But that also teach you how to handle a lot of stuff. That's one thing about military. It will help you learn how to deal with a lot of things. But all this self-healing and all this stuff, it doesn't work, man. And then you have people out here, you want them to spend their time trying to help you. And some people do it. And I used to try to help people back in the day and all this. And then I realized these people ain't trying to help themselves. So they want to play victim, And that's the new trend right now, is playing victim, if y'all hadn't noticed that. Everybody wants to be, a victim. That's all they want to do. No, I got you. I was just messing with you, lock and load. I was just messing with you. You're like, no, asking about therapy. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think everybody needs to have some time, somewhere in there, go see a therapist about something. Because a lot of people have things. You have, deaths in the family. A lot of people lose their kids or situations, and they don't go seek any therapy. They just sit around, talk to their friends, cry on social media, talk to some more friends, cry on social media, go see their pastor, cry on social media, and not one time they mention a therapist. Not one time. Anybody in mental health or anything like that, someone that can truly help you, they do not mention it not one time. And then you'll notice year after year after year after year, they still going through this same issue. That's a rough thing. You lose a child, something, a loved one, a husband, a wife. That's something hard. Siblings. So you need somebody to talk to sometimes if you're having a hard time with that. I mean, it is what it is. But like this guy said, there's only so much people on the outside should do. I shouldn't spend so much time trying to worry about your problem that now it's becoming a problem for me. That's what I'm saying. It just shouldn't be. Let's let him rock a little bit.
Because dysfunctional people have created all that shit for themselves. They are the reason for the dysfunction. Now they want to try to include other people in their toxic ways. They want to include other people, and if you're dysfunctional, then you need help. You need professional help, or you need a slap. You need a reality check.
Oh, you need a slap. You know, back in the day now, we used to snatch somebody up that got out of place. We really did. We had a tight group. And when that certain person got out of, he got out of check, we checked him. We told him we got to go bring him back in. That's what we would do. And we would get together and we'll go get that dude. And sometimes we'll rough him up. And then we'll stand him back up. Then we'll brush him off. We just had to do that because you was getting a little out of place, bro. You was doing too much. And he good to go after that. But see, now, no one wants to check their homeboys. Nobody want to check their homegirls. There's no accountability out there. And that's what's really hurting people. Let's see, lock and load to say. She says, I really believe we are all, I guess, about a little dysfunctional. Oh, yeah. No doubt. But this the thing, though, Locke. Is your dysfunction uprooting or causing issues in your circle? You see what I'm saying? What you're doing and the way you're acting, is it causing problems with your kids, your job, whatever you're doing out there? Is that starting to be a problem where you can't control it now? Because some people really can't. And a prime example, this is something so simple. People work online now, all right? Everybody's online. And they will tell you, show up when you're on camera, professional. And for some reason, some people will not do that. They will refuse to do what is asked of them for their job. And they will show up looking like they just got out of bed. But when questioned, they get upset. They get mad. And so their function is they don't like people telling them what to do. That's what their biggest problem. You shouldn't have to tell me, I know what to do. I know what to wear. You ain't got to tell me what to wear. I wear what I want to wear. Does that shit sound familiar to y'all? How many times we heard someone say something like that? But if you knew, why are you not doing it? Because of the dysfunction you have. You was raised to not listen to anyone. You was raised to be combative. You see what I'm saying? All these things come back out later on and you don't think about it. And we roll in year after year, family after family, this dysfunction. You have kids, and guess what your kids gonna see growing up? Your behavior, your character. Now they go to school. You see all these kids in school showing out, acting up, fighting. Like elementary and middle school. Soon as the parent run up there, what does she do? She act just like the kids in there. The kids act just like her when they see her. She come in loud, yelling, screaming, wanting to fight these small kids. We just talked about this the other day. How a mother got arrested running up in the school because her daughter was getting in a small little fight with some other girls in the school. So she ran up there to fight these little girls. This was middle school or elementary or something. And got herself arrested. What's going on with y'all, man? You see what I'm saying? And she was just fussing and yelling. They was trying to talk to her, trying to talk to her. She didn't want to hear that. She didn't want to hear it. She was in tunnel vision, and that dysfunction had taken over. And that was her anger. She allowed her anger to take over, and she couldn't stop, and got herself arrested. Now they hit you with a no trespassing, and probably because she was fighting with them, so they could have giving her an assault, but I think they just gave her resist with violence or something else like they call it now. But depending on what type of job you have, that can mess you up right there. So all these dysfunction that people seem to have that's been normal in their life. Just like that little girl, at the school. And then it went to the mom. And I guarantee you, if we would found that girl's mom, it would have been the same thing. So it always like they say, shit rolls downhill. That what they always say in the military? Shit rolls downhill. That's what it does. And so that's what we get out here. We getting a whole bunch of nothing from all this dysfunction. And then we wonder why the families are acting so weird. Like you have some families, nobody's doing right in it. I can get one person that might branch out and be successful in the family. And that success might be just graduating high school. That'd be the only thing that happened in that whole family. Like, she the first one graduated high school. It's 2025. Why in the freak is she the only one that ever made it to high school and graduate? 12 years. You don't have to do that in school now. Shit, you can get a diploma just by being there every day. Because the reading rate in the US right now is at the lowest. You got grown kids reading at what? A 10th grader reading at maybe a 5th grade level or 4th grade level. I mean, come on. This is weird out here. Let's see this young lady here. She has some things to say. And only reason I'm showing these clips because I'm showing you the way different aspects of how people see this and what they're thinking about. Like I said, I was only thinking one or two ways until I start looking at a few clips. And then it's like, oh, okay. This thing goes into a whole nother level. So we got to explore all this, man. Let's get it. Let's see.
Deanna Michelle here. I just want to talk to you. Can we just stop normalizing being in a dysfunctional relationship, being dysfunctional parents, being in dysfunctional work environments? Can we just normalize that it's okay not to want to live like that it's okay to you wanting to do better, to be a better person, a better example, a better leader? Can we just normalize that? Why is it that it's so okay and easier for us to do everything incorrectly, wrong, improperly? Why is it okay for us to do that, but no one is trying to do the right thing?
That is true.
Stop being okay.
I ain't gonna let him go again. But that's so true. Why is it such a, it's just so normal with everybody? Why no one is stepping up and saying this is enough for this family? Like we used to have leaders in the families. You have people that come through and try to tighten up people, try to get them straight with everything. But now, most time it used to be that auntie, that auntie that went off to college and she got herself together, never got married, but she's smart, she got money, and she living a good life. She just don't have kids and she's not married. So that's something else she got to figure out. But she always try to get the kids to go to college, to get, stay in school, get jobs. She's always on that with them. And now you can't do that with kids. Because now the parents will grow up and think you telling their kids what to do. So you can't even help these kids within the families now. Because you got a relative that gets jealous or has a problem with you telling their kids what they need to tell them. But you can't help them. Like I said, some of them never made it to high school. Some ain't never really worked. You know, let's say a lot of times you're the bad guy. I'm actually explaining that for me, lock and loaded. She says a lot of times you're the bad guy. Explain that. Explain that. Explain that. Explain that. Explain that. Yeah, a lot of times people are. But I want to hear from your aspect of it because I'm thinking you're thinking of something particular. So don't write too much because the system will come out there and say something. But real short, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by it? And we'll come back to you. But yeah, I think the dysfunctional part of families and friends and all this, I think it need to be checked. I think some accountability need to step up. Um, we need to stop letting people drown out here. We really do. Because I'm seeing it now where it's affecting the kids. You're not hardly working. You don't clean up. Your house is a mess. It's a hoarder house. You got your kids in here. Now they're grown. And guess what? They never learned how to clean a house, male or female. Who is going to want them? You got adult children living in your house. Who is going to want these nasty, grown ass people? Who's going to want them? Y'all got boys out here that don't pick up after themselves, don't know how to do nothing. And then, what y'all gonna call my mama's boy? That ain't gonna fix nothing. Who's gonna want these guys? And then you got our daughters. You got your daughters that don't know how to do anything and live a nasty life. Who is gonna want her? Only people that want people like that are people just like them. So if you raising your kids up in an environment like that, or just a mess of dysfunction, they are going to continue on with that because that's all they know. And who is going to want them once they get out of your hands? Sooner or later, they're gonna branch out. The thing is, the type of person they're going to choose as a partner. That's when the problem going to come. Okay, I got you now. Okay, so lock and load, it came back with when you speak out of the wait a minute, I'm sorry. When you speak out of the dysfunction, wait a minute, this thing keep closing me up. When you speak out of this dysfunction, when you're calling people out on their stuff. Okay. Yeah. When you call them out, they are going to respond. And when they respond, that's when you're going to have a problem because then they're going to say something slick to you. Then you're like, oh, okay. Then you stay on over there in that nasty place. You stay over there with them dirty clothes. You get these nasty, uneducated kids out my house. Don't ask me to help you no more. You got to go through that whole 9 after they did all that. Because they will tell you some stuff. They will say some stuff to you real slick, especially if you didn't help them. They'll forget all about that. I mean, I know a lot of you done ran through that before. You trying to help. I see a lot of you ladies try to help y'all friends with kids. I really do. But then one time, y'all try to tell them something and they curse y'all slam out. Slam out, I mean, to the relationship. The friendship is over. But for years, you've been helping them, spending money on the kids, giving them a place to stay when they get put out, which would seem to be every 6 to 8 months. Because that's a dysfunction growing up. They ain't never learned how to pay bills. They always move from place to place. It's normal for them to do this. And it's also normal for people to live all in one household all the time. Y'all seen that? You go to someone's house and everyone still lives there. I mean, grown people, the daughters, the sons, and then some of them had kids and they still live in that same house. And it's always a small house. But everybody's still living in that house because nobody knows how to branch out and get their own stuff. There's a fear of putting their names on anything. They don't understand financing. They don't understand rental contracts. They don't understand anything. And you have full-grown adults that's never put their name on anything. And it just goes on. And how are you going to teach your kids how to do something? You never did it. When we was recruiting, we had to set kids up before they go to training with bank accounts and all this stuff. I was so surprised that a lot of these kids, now we expect them not to have bank accounts, but their parents didn't have one. And so the parents, because they say, like, we always tell them, like, get your parents to do a joint account. If you're 17, she can just put you on because, blah, blah, blah. No, they don't have none. They don't have bank accounts. Like, what? Like, dang. And then we went through the whole scenario where the parents were stealing the kids' money when they went to training. So the parents, in one situation, the mother ended up getting on crack. And she was coming up there to the armory asking for T-shirts and all this stuff. And one day she asked me when's the little girl at training, she asked me when the little girl was getting paid again. So I had to reach out to the little girl, like, what's going on? Because your mom keep coming up here wanting to know when you get paid. And that's when she told me she had to change her account because the mom was stealing the money. She knew exactly when the money was going to hit in their account. And she took it out before the girl could even see it. And they had one little joint account. So that's why I don't tell people to do that no more. But yeah. But it was a dysfunction that they had going on. I didn't know that the mom was like that. But, it is what it is on that. So we seem to see it in so many different ways where the dysfunction can come in at. And I just thought it was something to talk about on here while I'm working on some things. And so that's what I did. Like I said, I wasn't trying to be long tonight. Just wanted to talk about it and bring it up because we have seen this so much. And it's crazy. I mean, it's really, really crazy. Well, guys, like I said before, if you came in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share. I appreciate you dropping up in here, show your support, and Lock and Loaded. Appreciate you coming up in here. Luck as always, my brother. I'll hit you up, and I'll be back at it tomorrow, guys. And I'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care. Peace.